It's the semifinals, and only the top 2 runners from each heat will move forward. Everyone's watching Tapper and Charlton. They're expected to be the stars of this race. Tapper is in lane 3. She's small, but incredibly explosive and exciting to watch. Devon Charlton from the Bahamas is also amazing. She got a silver medal at the World Indoor Championships because of her super fast start. She made it to the World Championship final and even set a new record for her country in the semifinal with a time of 12.46 seconds. So we're seeing some serious talent from the Caribbean islands today. We're also watching Fury from South Africa, who ran 13.04 in the first semifinal, and Mars from Northern Ireland, who just barely missed breaking an incredible 50 national record set by Mary Peters with her time of 13.37 seconds. So there's a chance for some of these other athletes to shine if the Caribbean runners do take those 2 automatic qualifying spots. Here's Devon Charlton, who's 26 years old now. She finished 7th in the final in Eugene, but she's a world indoor silver medalist, and she had an incredible start in Belgrade. What an awesome way to kick off a great year of track and field back in March, even though it feels like forever ago now. And there's Tapper, who won bronze at the Pan American Games and the Olympics. She was 7th in this same final back in 2018, but she's gotten way better as an athlete over the past 4 years. There's Muchi, 2nd from the left. She's the Oceania champion from Australia and a former heptathlon athlete, getting herself ready and pumped up for this second semi-dash final. It looks like the wind is going to affect the times again. Here's the official lineup for the second heat. The top 2 will advance to the final in 2 days. Tapper in lane 3 and Charlton in lane 5 are the favorites to get those automatic spots. The wind in the first heat was measured at 2.5 meters per second. It feels like it might be even windier now. The athletes are getting ready for their introductions. In lane 2, we have an athlete with a lifetime best time. Heather Payton is representing Scotland, but she runs for Birchfield Harriers Club. She's a massage therapist and is getting a huge cheer from the crowd and from the president of Birch Harriers, who's sitting right next to me and will definitely have something to say after the race is over. And Megan Tapper, who won bronze at the Pan American Games 3 years ago and bronze at the Olympics. She's small, compact, super fast, and has really good technique over the hurdles. She's had a personal best this year in India. I'm wondering if this exciting atmosphere could help her run under 13 seconds for the first time. Eva. Now, Devon Charlton. She's tied as the favorite for this race with her personal best and national record of 12.46 that she set in the semifinals in Eugene. She also got World Indoor Silver back in March. Celeste Mucci is the Oceania champion who just missed getting on the podium at the Gold Coast in the hept. Now she's decided to focus completely on sprint hurdles. She's 22 years old and is a young up-and-coming talent. The Australian commentators in front of us are getting really excited about her chances of making the final. Anu Zaini is also racing. I remember watching her win bronze at the Southeast Asian Games in the super hot weather of Kuala Lumpur back in 2017. This is a big moment for her. need a huge personal best to have a chance at making the final. Peyton from Scotland is in lane 2. They're not using lane 1. Tapper will be second from the right in lane 3. The Jamaican Uraji is in lane 4. Charlton from the Bahamas is in 5. Muchi from Australia is in 6. And Zaini from Singapore is closest to the camera in lane 7. There's Tapper in lane 3, but should be second from the right since they're not using lane 1. Tapper is wearing yellow, and Charlton is in turquoise. These two athletes from Jamaica and the Bahamas are expected to take the automatic qualifying spots, but you never know. That's why we love watching live sports. You can't always predict what will happen. Charlton got an amazing start just like she did at the World Indoors, but now Tapper is catching up, and Muchi's running well for Australia in 3rd place. Charlton is starting to close in on Tapper, but Tapper wins it with a time of 12.67 seconds. Once again, she's so close to breaking Bridget Foster Hilton's games record. It's frustrating how close she is. The wind was exactly plus 2.0 meters per second, so it would have counted as a games record if she'd beaten it. Great running by both Caribbean island athletes. We're just waiting for Muchi's official time to be confirmed. I think she probably ran right around 13 seconds. Maybe just a bit under, 12.96 seconds. So Muchi from Australia is in the best position for one of the no-automatic qualifying spots. And with that 12.96 time, good for her. She's tied her personal best. Yeah, that was really good running in the second heat. Megan Tapper with that 12.68 heat winning time is looking very, very good. As Rob mentioned, the two favorites in this heat were Tapper and Charlton. Tapper finished 3rd in the semifinals at the World Championships when she ran her personal best of 12.52 seconds. We talked about the super fast times at those World Championships, but there was also a lot of chaos in the early rounds too. A couple of American runners didn't even make it through. It was really a dramatic event at those World Championships a couple of weeks ago. But Tapper right there at the finish line just barely beat the athlete who finished 7th at the World Championships. She's shorter than most runners, so she has to lift her hips just a little bit more to get over the hurdles. But she's compact and fast. There was a little mistake, but the athletes are being smart here, Rob, because they have a couple of days before the final, so they're not going all out. This is their one chance to get their body warmed up, get a good time recorded. And that was a solid run by the Jamaican athlete. It definitely was. Megan Tapper, the Olympic bronze medalist, had an excellent qualifying race, 12.68 seconds. And she safely through to the final along with World Indoor silver medalist Devon Charlton. Celeste Muchi tied her personal best. It looks like she has a great chance of making it through as one of the non-automatic qualifiers. That's not the case for Uraji though, because Fury from the first semifinal holds the second non-automatic spot with a time of 13.04 seconds. Look at how Charlton explodes out of the blocks. You can see why she's so good at indoor races over 60 meters. But Tapper is physically tiny. Catherine, but in some ways that actually makes her perfect for sprint hurdles. Yeah, you can see from this great side angle that she literally just has to lift her hips a couple of inches to get herself into her sprinting position between the hurdles. And Charlton also has really good technique with that right leg leading. She quickly whips her trail leg around to get it back in contact with the track so she can drive forward powerfully. Yeah, this women's 100-meter hurdles event is shaping up to be really exciting. isn't it? What I love about this event is that we've become fascinated by it from a worldwide perspective. I mean, we're amazed by the Americans. They seem to have an endless supply of American women who can run 12.3, 12.4, 12.5 seconds, Making it onto the American team is almost impossible. Now, we've got Amusin, who holds the world record. You've got beautiful, smooth, technically skilled hurdlers from the Caribbean like Tapper and Charlton from the Bahamas. So you've got excitement from Africa and the Caribbean that's good enough to challenge the Americans, who still have one or two excellent athletes like Kenny Harrison, the former world record holder. This is a really great time for women's sprint hurdling. We should really appreciate these races because we're watching 3 different continents competing at the highest level. What's really interesting about Megan Tapper is that she's tiny in height. That was a great run from her 12.68 seconds with a legal wind reading for that win, by the way. But she has to really stretch that lead leg out over the hurdles. She's so short at around 5 feet 2 inches that she has to use a very, very traditional hurdling technique. While taller athletes, as Kath mentioned, can sort of skip over the hurdles with a bent leg. That brings us back to that issue we were talking about earlier, whether the hurdles in the women's 100-meter hurdles are high enough. I don't think the height of the hurdles will get raised because it would mess up all the historical records of the event. They've been that height for many, many years. Yeah, it's an ongoing question and debate that keeps coming up. And whether it's the 100-meter hurdles or 400-meter hurdles. Putting aside the height discussions, it's always about having good, compact cutting tech. That's always the foundation, along with having good speed. And speaking of good speed, Tim, Nigeria has big hopes for Toby Amusin to win a gold medal here. Nigeria didn't win any medals in the women's 100 meters. They came in 4th and 5th place. There wasn't even a Nigeria man in the men's 100-meter final. So Toby Amusin, who will run in the next race in lane 3, is a huge medal hope in the short sprint events for Nigeria. And understandably so. She's the new world record holder, the new world champion, and the defending champion too. Tim, let's not forget, she's here to defend her title. I remember working at the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast and the disappointment that Australian fans felt when Sally Pearson had to withdraw from the Commonwealth Games 4 years ago. Toby Amusin took advantage of that opportunity, and it was a real breakthrough moment for H.